Can't stop binge eating? Watch this video and I'll tell you exactly why. If you found this video because you were trying to figure out how to stop overeating, consider yourself very, very lucky. I am angry and irritated because of the lies that are spread about how to lose weight, why you're not losing weight, and just get more willpower. I'm gonna tell you right now, it is not about willpower and it's not about portion control. It's not about doing something else to distract yourself. Those are all secondary to the main issue here. I'm gonna tell you exactly why you can't stop overeating, and it has everything to do with big food. I'm a clinical therapist, and in my practice, I have treated countless people with binge eating disorder and overeating behaviors with food, and everything I hear surrounds the same thing. I just can't stop. I have this compulsion. I eat a whole bag of Doritos. I eat a whole bag of Oreos. I can't buy it. I can't have it in the house because I can't control myself. I eat all the food, and then the next day I feel guilty. When we come to think about a solution to this overeating, binge eating problem and obesity problem that we have today, we have to consider, was it like this 50, 60 years ago? It wasn't. The obesity epidemic has become a problem in the last few decades. We didn't have an obesity problem to the level that we have an obesity problem today. Why is that? It's very simple. Our food is not the same. Even if you look at the ingredients in McDonald's French fries decades ago, there was like 4 ingredients. Now there's more like 10 ingredients. Everyone says don't eat processed food, but do you know why you shouldn't eat processed food? Processed food is manipulated in a lab, and there are literally chemists who are deciding how to make food addictive. The ingredients in food literally make you crave them. An example would be cheese. Casein is a protein that's naturally found in cheese. Big Food has decided that if they manipulate the amount of casein in cheese, it actually makes people crave cheese more. What you thought was a healthy block of cheese is actually creating a compound that is similar to heroin. Casein is also sometimes added to milkshakes and French fries. And when this casein that has been abnormally added to the food is digested, it creates a compound similar to heroin. When you think, why can I stop overeating? If you thought of it like I'm literally battling against heroin, wouldn't you think about your food a little bit differently? I wanna ask you this. Have you ever binged on steak? No one binges on steak. Why is that? That's because steak is full of protein, which is naturally satiating to the body. It doesn't have any lab-made, addictive added ingredients that make you literally need to eat more of it, similar to the way heroin lights up areas of the brain. So do you have an overeating problem, or do you have a food selection problem? If you didn't have any lab-made foods in your house, I would almost guarantee you wouldn't have a binge eating or an overeating problem. Why isn't anybody talking about this? I worked in the eating disorder world for 10 plus years, and everyone liked to say there's no such thing as good and bad foods. That is total BS. They are lying to you. We would have women come into binge eating units and try to fix their eating disorder by giving them 1 or 2 Oreos and practice just having 1 or 2 Oreos. When you have a food that literally has chemicals in it that is made to have you crave and eat more, similar to drugs, how could you expect someone to get rid of their binge eating problem? That's like saying just have a little bit of heroin, but you can only have heroin once a day. How insane is that? To give you a little more perspective about how messed up our food system is, you may think that dietitians are your friends, and I'm sure that some of them out there are great, but did you know that the American Association of Dietetics was at one time sponsored by Coca-Cola? Coca-Cola is trash. Coca-Cola is loaded with sugar, it's loaded with artificial ingredients, and it makes you crave it. In what world would Coca-Cola have a right sponsoring the Dietetic Association of America? Just ask yourself that. The fix here for binge eating and overeating is gonna be hard in the short term because I'm gonna ask you to stop buying food that has ingredients that you don't recognize. Now, basically that's gonna be anything that comes in a box, Pretty much everything that's in the freezer section, even some of your frozen corn and frozen vegetables, are marinated in a lab created sauce. So look at the ingredients. The directive to stop binge and overeating is to eat single ingredient foods, basically whole foods, foods that are not processed. Now, I know everyone says don't eat processed foods, but if you consider the things that I mentioned at the beginning of this video, it is gonna be much easier to do that because you realize that it's literally like having heroin sprinkled on your food. How could you stop eating if there's heroin sprinkled on your food? Cravings for processed foods light up the same areas of the brain that cravings for drugs and alcohol light up. There is no winning here. You cannot just have a little. Some people have a higher propensity for alcoholism. Some people have a higher propensity for gambling. Some people can just drink a little bit of alcohol. Some people can just gamble a little. But if you are a person who cannot stop overeating, you are not someone who can, in the long term, eat processed foods. You are at risk for the addiction of these lab-made chemicals that are in your food. Not to mention, this food is literally toxic. The second thing that no one ever talks about is how breakfast is basically setting you up for failure late in the day. You wanna cut out oats. Why do you wanna cut out oats? Oats is basically starch water. That means it's shooting your blood sugar up, and within an hour or two, your blood sugar is crashing, leaving you shaky, leaving you tired, leaving you craving more food. We want to have a protein and a fat-heavy breakfast. This is the most important thing to do for your first meal of the day. We're not doing pastries. We're not doing fruit. We're not doing toast. All of these sugar-heavy, carb-heavy foods that you have been taught are good for breakfast are absolute trash for breakfast. They are spiking your blood sugar and then you are crashing later. It doesn't create any sense of being satisfied. Your body is going to continue to be hungry because it's searching for nutrients. In the morning, your body needs a glass of water, filtered. Your body needs protein and your body needs fat. Throw out the low-fat yogurt, throw out the low-fat milk. If you're gonna be having yogurt and milk, you want it to be full fat. When you pull the fat out of dairy, all you are left with is sugar. This is not what we want. You have been told that fat is bad. That is a lie. It had to do with the grain subsidies that the government gave to farmers, and then the government told you that fat was bad, so you would be more likely to buy those grain-laden foods like cereals, power bars, breads, things like that. As I wrap up this video, I want you to remember, you can't stop binge eating and overeating because the food is addictive. This is not in as much of your control as you think it is. And when you wonder why can someone do it and you can't, just think about how some people can drink alcohol, some people can gamble, and some people just can't. They become addicted to it. Also, there is nothing to envy about your best friend who can eat just 1 or 2 Oreos a day. Those Oreos are literally cancer sandwiches. You do not want to eat Oreos. You do not want to eat processed food. So if you take anything away from this video today, start eating whole foods. Give yourself about a month of totally detoxing from any processed food, and I can almost guarantee the cravings will come down, if not completely be eradicated, once you detox from literally what the system was designed to do. Big food is not stupid. Their job is to sell more food to you. How do they sell more food? They make it less nutrient dense, so your body needs to crave more to get any nutrients out of it. And then they add lab-made chemicals to make you crave it. This is not complicated, but you are confused because you have been lied to. If you have any personal thoughts or comments, please put them in the comment section. Don't forget to like if you felt like this video was helpful, and subscribe. Also, check out my website, eatsmartcoaching.com. I help people learn how to eat clean so they can ditch diets for good, lose the weight, and heal their body naturally. I offer a free 20-minute call, and on that call, I will let you know 3 specific things that you can do right now to start losing the weight. You can literally have this free call and change your life, turn your life around. I will tell you 3 specific things for you based on what you're doing now that will help you heal naturally and lose the weight. That's all for now. Bye.